Hello, folks. Joe Monroe here, and I'm here with my good friend Mike.
Hey.
And today we are going to talk about the Von Erich family. Now, the reason we're doing this is because Mike does movie reviews, and
Right.
he just recently watched The Iron Claw, which I watched it the week. Don't even think about it. I'll have to do it. I'm the wrestler here, pal.
Yeah, right.
But with the Iron Claw, there's a lot of inaccuracies with the film, which, giving Hollywood, they like to do that. You and I both know that.
It's creative licensing.
Whatever.
Right.
It's just, we'll get to the Ric Flair guy for creative licensing in a minute.
Woo!
Don't. But let's go ahead and let's get into the Von Erich family. Now, of course, the history aspect of Fritz Von Erich being a former wrestler and him having his family and everything traveling around with him, 100% true. That's how his son, his first Jack Jr. passed away. And that aspect of that film is true.
Was it trailer shock?
It was trailer shock. He got shot by the trailer, then fell into a mud puddle and drowned.
Right. Okay.
So that's how that aspect of the film, that was actually very true.
I don't know. Did they actually mention that specifically?
They did, yes.
Okay. Because I remember they said that he died. I don't remember if they mentioned all of it.
I'm pretty sure they mentioned on how he died and what happened. Now, another thing that was historically accurate was Kevin kind of being the first one to wrestle. That is 100% true.
Right.
And Kevin was Texas Heavyweight Champion.
Right.
And he did go up against Harley Race, too.
Okay.
So those aspects of the story was true. David getting in the business was true.
Okay.
David being the favorite and best talker out of the group, my personal opinion, is 100% true. I think David was probably the best Von Erich from a wrestling standpoint.
Right.
He
Sportsman,
yeah. He didn't have the physique like Kevin
right.
or Kevin and Kerry.
They were jacked.
Well, Kerry was more jacked than Kevin,
right.
But with him being so tall,
mm-hmm.
and that kind of like lankiness and a little bit of a build that he had, it worked for him. And not many people know this. They didn't explore this. He actually traveled to other territories.
Okay.
Which, if you don't know the meaning of territory, go look up my Facebook page for that. So,
right.
But he actually went to other territories. I want to say he was a heel in Florida. So
I wasn't born yet, so
I wasn't either. I just grew up
lived
watching
in Florida, but I don't remember ever hearing about the Von Erichs.
Yeah, well, the Von Erichs didn't really travel together like
they were big in Texas, though.
Texas was their home turf.
Because in Florida, everybody's a wrestler.
Well, Fritz very rarely let them go anywhere.
Right.
He was afraid it would ruin the image of World Class Championship Wrestling.
Right, right.
Which, honestly, I know they had to redo the logo in the film.
Right.
But honestly, it wasn't
copyright.
Yeah, WWE wouldn't release the licensing, but it still felt like the real deal.
Right.
Now the people who were cast, which Zac Efron, he played. I honestly thought he should have played Kerry.
Yeah.
Because of his physique.
Right.
But he did play Kevin pretty well. I'll give him that. I think he deserves an Oscar.
And there was another brother that wasn't even in the movie, right?
That is true. Their youngest brother.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
right.
he was in the film,
uh-huh.
but the director said due to moving the story along,
they had to cut it.
They cut it out with him, so
okay.
So that's
because from the movie standpoint, inaccuracies and some artistic licensing is okay, as long as you get the spirit of the story true. Because you're not making a documentary.
Well, I'll get into that here in just a second with Kerry coming in after the Olympics shut down.
Right. He didn't get
true.
Didn't get to go. Yeah, that was true.
The Von Erichs getting started on how they got started. True.
Right. Their dad started, and then
that's true. Now the backstage, with them working the Freebirds, that was their greatest rival right there.
Right.
And whoever played the Freebirds did a great job. They looked just like them.
Right.
Which they were independent wrestlers who got the job, so that's pretty cool. And I want to say kudos to all the actors that are not wrestlers.
Right.
They they busted their butts on it. So
right.
They did really good.
Well, no, that from a movie part, I appreciate when if it's a docudrama, which is what I would call this kind of a. It's not all true, but it's close enough to being true with some liberties. I like it when, like, if I'm going to go see a Madonna movie, I want someone who looks like Madonna.
Right.
I want someone who acts like Madonna. I don't want to see somebody who just has blonde hair and goes out there and does whatever. Like when they did the movie with the Journey guy. They did a movie with him, and they made him look like the guy. I don't like it when they just have somebody and say, "Oh, this is this person."
Oh yeah, like with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
That was a great film.
Yeah,
Rocket,
that's what I was talking about. Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah,
Rocket Man with Elton John.
Right.
It was
they at least looked good enough.
They did great, and I think they did great with this one, especially since A24 had the production.
Right. Yeah.
They're
a good production.
And I knew right then when I seen A24, I was like, okay, this is going to be a great
decent movie at least. Yeah.
I knew it was going to be great because I knew the story already.
Right.
I know the Von Erich story. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you already know this.
See, I don't trust trailers, previews, because they, one, show all of the good parts, and two, it's usually that's it, and then everything else is garbage.
I don't think they did with this one.
This one that's actually stuck to decent storyline.
Yeah, they stuck with the basic storyline and stuff, so it was good. Now, some of the troubling stuff, I laughed my butt off. I shouldn't, but I did. Like Carrie doing cocaine with Gino Hernandez.
Oh yeah.
In a bar, 100%. I want to say that is true
but we don't know.
But we don't know. I want to say so because
those people.
I know.
Know the history of those people.
I know, but I know the aspects of life on the road too. So
right.
You got to keep yourself amped and not bored out of your gourd.
Right. Yeah.
Especially back then, it was.
A lot of guys drunk
did drugs,
got into bar fights.
Yeah.
So
I actually love how they didn't shy away from that aspect.
Right. Yeah. They kept it grounded.
Yeah, they kept it really grounded. Now, I hate the inaccuracies. I want to get it. Let's just go ahead and get into it.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So, inaccuracies, timeline-wise, not accurate.
Things did not happen in the sequence that they happened.
Right. So, a good example, we actually talked about this beforehand. We'll jump to where Kerry lost his foot in the car wreck. He did not lose it immediately after he won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
He lost it, I want to say maybe a year or two after that happened.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure because I'm
not
that deep into the.
It happened. It did not happen that quickly. Okay. So that's inaccurate.
So it got progressively worse.
To me, they did the story lightly.
Right.
But I get, in a story situation,
you gotta click along.
Well, that and plus how dark the story really is.
Right.
I completely understand why they did what they did with the film.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it because I love films too. I'm looking at it from a film and wrestling perspective.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you can't really get the full story.
Right.
Because if you put the full story together,
it's going to be worse than an R.
Exactly. It's going to be
and that's life. Life is worse than an R sometimes.
Exactly. So Ric Flair. God, I'll go ahead and get out of the way.
Oh.
So they had this. That's the loudest woo you got out of that guy.
Right.
The guy who, and I'm not digging at him as an actor.
No, I'm sure he's a decent
actor. But the Ric Flair.
I have to hit the directors on this one because it's the job of the director to tell you, the actor, what to do.
Right.
And if I'm not getting what I need from you, I need to show you what kind of thing I need you to get out of you.
This Ric Flair was, to me, because I go to wrestling cons and stuff now, was someone who was at a wrestling con who was from like upstate New York trying to be Ric Flair.
Right, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, Ric Flair doesn't have like a very specific tone. It's not like Macho Man. Macho Man has that flair to him. Mm-hmm. Ric Flair doesn't have like an over the height, Macho Man, you're going to get what you're going to, like, if you're going to get, certain wrestlers have that over the top, like, mojo about them, like, Ric Flair didn't really have like a huge vocal presence when he just talked like a normal person.
Well, he did and he didn't. That was the beauty of Flair.
It was undertoned.
He will talk to you like this, then get really high, and you're going to pay attention to him.
Right.
That's
But
how
he
it
didn't.
was.
He
But
didn't do like
no,
Rock. He wasn't out there saying, "I'm gonna beat you down," or anything like. He's not bolsterous about it.
Well, when he ended his heel run, he was boisterous about it. You'll have.
But
to,
I mean,
I'll
but
show
I mean,
you.
in
I'll show
the
you.
and from what I've seen, he doesn't pull like a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No,
he
no,
doesn't go
he'll
over the
focus
top.
on you. But the guy who played Flair in the film sounded like this,
Right.
and he's going to come after you. It
He
sounded
sounded like a parody of a wrestler.
yeah, you can definitely tell it was like someone being a cosplay wrestler.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not a dig at the actor himself.
Young
I
Rock.
agree with you.
Yeah, the TV show Young Rock.
Yeah.
He was Young Rock.
Okay.
Was making fun of somebody, and he was. I think it was. I forget who it was, but he was like, "And I am going to kick your," and he was just doing that.
Yeah.
Stop.
So speaking of Young Rock, whoever played Flair in Young
was
Rock,
actually decent.
that was a good one. They should have hired him for this film.
Yeah. Because that Ric Flair was actually Flair.
Yeah, that guy was good. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
The only good aspect about that guy playing Flair is
He
Flair
kind of looked like young Flair.
Well, that and Flair backstage.
Yeah.
Like
hey, you want to go get some cocaine?
Or go out for a beer?
Right.
Well, anytime you're more than welcome in my book, and you're more than welcome.
Right. Just the chill.
Yeah, like the chill Flair.
Right.
But him cutting the promo.
Yeah. That was.
They should have had a Flair dub voiceover for the poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's not the actor; it's the director didn't push him. But I know, okay, it's a 5-minute scene,
Right.
so let's keep going because we got to get the movie done.
Right.
But you're still wanting to give homage to these actual people,
Right.
who are still alive. Like Ric Flair's still around. So
Flair said he was the best part of the movie, and I'm gonna, if I ever see Flair, I'm gonna look at him and be like,
what?
What movie were you watching? And no, that was not. That was the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, that honestly was like the one thing. I liked the movie.
Yeah,
it's
the
a
movie's
good movie.
great. Yeah.
That was just the one thing I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like, could you like tell your actor to ham it up a little bit?
So I had I went with a couple of friends of mine. You know who they are.
Right.
And we just all looked at each other and was like, "What in the hell is this?
Right.
This is not Ric Flair."
No.
But
I'm not a huge WWE, AEW guy. I'll watch it, but I know who Ric Flair is. Like, that's one of the legends. Like, just like everyone knows who The Rock is.
Or Hogan.
Or any of those.
Macho
guys.
Man.
Yeah, and like, so you know these characters, and you know when someone's not that character.
Well, we'll go from the worst aspect of the film to the best.
Right.
I know we talked about who Zac Efron and all them playing with the Von Erichs.
I think
Whoever played Harley Race deserves a Actors Guild or whatever, because that guy was spot on.
Which one was Harley Race?
Harley Race was the match where Kevin got hit onto the floor.
After he was it the shoulder?
No, it was he was going after the world title for the first time.
Oh, okay.
So the guy with the afro.
Oh, him.
That's
okay,
Harley
yeah,
Race.
Yeah. Okay.
So whoever they picked for Harley Race, safest kiss.
I get my brothers confused too. So
yeah, it's fine.
Not that kind of brother, but the Von Erich brothers.
I get you. But with the guy who played Harley Race, great job. That guy did a great job. Guy who played Gino, great job. The guy who played Bruiser Brody. I wish he was taller because Bruiser Brody was a big guy.
Wasn't he like 6'2" or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But the guy did a good job. He looked like Bruiser Brody.
Okay. Well, and most of the actors are smaller, anyways, too.
Yeah. So
kind of evens out. But
so they did good. The only one that they did bad on was Flair.
Yeah, Flair was
the one that you think I can't drop the ball on this guy. You dropped the ball on.
Yeah. And again, I can't blame the actor. I have to blame the director.
It's the director,
not telling his dude what to do.
But all in all, with timelines don't add up. Which again, in film, that's going to happen. That bad Flair, that bad cosplay Flair, and that's about it. That I can nitpick.
I mean, I don't know enough about the Von Erichs to nitpick more than what we have, because I know the stories, but for me, it's from a moviegoer perspective, it was good drama.
Yeah,
it was a little bit. There was sprinkling of funny in there, and the storyline was good.
It was a good drama biopic.
Right.
and it was really good. If you're not a wrestling fan and you're not going to pick it apart like I did, go watch it. It's probably one of the best films recently.
You have to go into it as if, okay, this is not a docudrama.
Right.
This is
and
not.
that's how I would.
It's not meant to be
for wrestling fans.
Well, it's for wrestling fans in the way of me as a wrestling fan.
Right.
Someone who's not like super deep into it,
right,
but who just wants to go and watch a fun movie.
Right.
Kind of like the Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, it's like
it's just a fun movie.
Right. Which I guess you could kind of put these two movies in the same category.
Right, because she was a real person.
Yeah.
But that one was advertised as a comedy, though.
Yeah.
So that one gets a little bit looser.
I think that actually had more of an aspect of drama to it, not only comedy. So it was great.
But it was advertised as a comedy.
Right. But this one
was definitely advertised as a drama.
And I knew, as a big wrestling fan and a big wrestling historian, I'm not saying I'm a big wrestling historian, but, I love wrestling, watched it all my life, so I'm going to call myself that.
Right.
I knew how Hollywood does, like, true stories, based off true stories and stuff.
Right.
So I'm like,
take it with a grain of salt.
I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Let me watch it. Let's see how it goes. Now, some people, like one of my friends who went with me, is a wrestler, still is. He's wrestled for 20-plus years. He hated it.
Right.
He's like, God, no.
Because he's a deep diver.
Yeah, he's a deep diver. So I figured he would do that.
Right.
So that's something. A lot of people have their different points of view of the film.
And that's the thing, is a lot of these movies aren't made for just the people.
Yeah, it's just not just for one person.
They want as many people to come and enjoy the thing as possible.
Well, and here's my thing with the film. If you watch the film, it's a biopic.
Right.
You're going to want to do your research on it. And if you do your research on it, not knowing the story before going to watch the film,
right, it's a little shock.
Yeah, it's more shocking than what they put on.
Right.
And I think
even what they have, if you don't know the curse of the Von Erichs, then you don't know what you're walking into.
Right. But with the how they did the film, I think with anybody that wants to do their research,
right,
they're going to be, for one, as I said, shocked, and for two, you're going to realize, oh my God, this is more tragic than what they portrayed on film, because it is. It's way more tragic than what they portrayed on film. I think, again, kudos to Zac Efron. I think his acting chops are getting better with each film he does.
Yeah.
I watched one with, and it's kind of another biopic about the guy who did a beer run to Vietnam. It's an Apple TV Plus.
Oh, okay.
Film.
I don't have Apple.
I do. I'll let you borrow it. If you ever come over the house.
Don't tell anybody.
I'm kidding. If you ever come over the house, we'll watch it.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
But he did good in that. It's kind of a drama series.
Okay. Is it based off of?
It's based off a true story.
Okay.
Yeah. I got.
Is it wrestling or?
No, it's not wrestling. But he. But I think Zac Efron's really found his niche with stuff like this.
And he did not get plastic surgery.
Yeah, he had something.
Apparently, the story that I heard was that he was going. He had a fountain or something, and he tripped and hit his chin.
Yeah, like he had
shattered his chin.
So they had to
reconstruct it. That's why he has that weird jawline.
Yeah, so
it's not because he's had plastic surgery or anything.
Yeah,
and working out doesn't do that to you. No,
God no. But he, Jeremy Allen White, who people know from Shameless, and he's the guy that played Carrie, from Shameless and Bear.
Oh yeah, I know.
A lot of people want to say, Carrie was a lot bigger. I'm like, yeah, he was, but I think emotionally he
hit the tone.
He hit the tone for Carrie very well, because Carrie lived very, very dark. And with David, it was kind of the fun Von Erich,
right?
And the way here, another aspect of the film I liked. I liked it, but it was inaccurate. Their mom was at the memorial show for whenever Carrie won the NWA World's title from Ric Flair.
Right. Okay.
And but in the film, you see her sitting at home watching it, and then you see kind of like the ghost of David hanging around on the stairs. I don't know if many people noticed that.
I didn't. No.
Yeah, because if you look,
I have to watch it again.
Beautiful cinematography. It's beautiful cinematography.
Right.
she's right there. It focuses on her. Then kind of in the background, you see him.
Is it like Is it faded or
Yeah,
is it?
he's like a little faded. Yeah, like
Well, I mean, like you know how like it on cinematography from a cinematographer point.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing a close up, and then you have everything else back there is blurred out.
That's kind of how like it was.
So it's just a figure is back there.
Yeah, and
okay.
you can tell, but you can tell it's David.
So it's him. Okay.
But it cuts to her watching it, and then you see David watching with her. Then it cuts back to the TV, which they had the actual film archive footage, which I'm happy they got.
Right.
That's probably what they spend most of the money on.
Yeah.
But
copyrights.
Then it comes back to her, and he's not there.
Right. Okay.
So it's one of those.
See, I didn't even.
Yeah, it's great cinematography.
You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I didn't even notice that.
Like I was full paying attention to the film.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, I pay attention, but I'm looking more towards like the storyline than all of the little guess.
My ADHD, I have to. I look for every little thing in the movie.
Right.
I don't know why.
Well, and especially since you're a bigger on the wrestling side, you're looking for those little inaccuracies or little details.
Right.
Where when I first watch a movie, I'm just going in it. Is the story good? Is the acting good? Is the general premise of the thing good?
And the general premise of it to me was good.
Right.
I loved it. It's not as good as Mickey Rourke's The Wrestler.
Right. Well, yeah, you can't really.
But
that wasn't based off of anybody, though.
That's just.
So you can have fun with that concept.
But with this one, even with the inaccuracies and stuff, I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it about the same.
About an 8 out of 10. So
and
it was one of the better movies of 2020.
And then I'll watch it on demand or whatever.
It's one of those movies I will watch over and over again.
Yeah.
And to me, recent movies, that's few and far between.
Right. Movies nowadays aren't the same.
No, but this one, it hit home. So A24, everybody that was part of the project, great job.
Good job, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it for my show. So we're going to do kind of like a little two-part here. We're going to look at from my aspect, and then we're going to do something for Mike's show. When are you going to put that out?
I'll probably coordinate with you and try and get them out on about the same day.
Okay. So after you watch this, you go watch Mike's video. I'll also be on there. And as always, from the Joe Monroe Show, this is Joe Monroe. This is my buddy Mike. Go ahead and give him your...
I'm Mike with Mike W Productions. There'll probably be a tag at the end or something.
Okay.
Or down in the description below. I'll tag you. I'll put you in my end credit screen so they can tap on your thing and go find you. But yeah, I'm Mike with Mike W Productions. What I usually say is thank you for subscribing. Thank you for getting this far in the video, and we will see you next time.
And as always, pro wrestling fans, I love you. Thank you for everything that you have done to make this channel grow. Because everything with the Joe Monroe Show has grown quite a bit in the past 6 months. I'm surprised.
Right.
But I want to say thank you all for your love and support. You have a great rest of your day, and as always, stay safe.
Peace.